ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. You know, no more doctor roulette or going to your mom or going to your brother or scouring the internet for questionable reviews. With ZocDoc, you have a trusted guide to connect you to your favorite doctor you haven't met yet. Go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC. Wait, I think my brother's actually on ZocDoc. Welcome to the chain.
I'm your host, Kendahl, and here's our other host sitting right over here.
And I'm Sarah Shower.
And welcome to the BCC Club, where every single week we pick a topic from the internet and we deep dive into it. And at the end, we interview someone who is an expert on the topic. Sarah, how are you doing today?
There's a list of medical things wrong with me. I'm having severe allergies. I have some tonsil stones too. So I thought it would be a good idea to put Orajel on the back of my throat to numb it so I could push out the tonsil stones.
And so was that something you looked up on the internet and they said this is a good idea?
Well, no. I figured since Orajel is meant to numb your teeth, it's safe to go in your throat. So I just applied it very liberally to the back of my throat because I didn't want to throw up. And now I just have Orajel. Like the back of my throat is just numb and it feels like I'm just drooling back there.
Yeah.
And then also I'm on my period. I ran out of Vyvanse. I pulled my back, so I have a heating pad right now. And what else? My period.
Well, you can't get your sneezes out.
I can't. They keep going up right here. And I think I'm becoming re-allergic to my cat.
Oh, God. I really think maybe it's just allergy season.
No, it is. Yeah. Like, there's so many. I've got to cheer up. There's so many.
Smile big.
Yeah.
Smile big, Sarah.
But I just feel myself getting older. And so, my back feels really good right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
The heating pad is working. How are you doing?
You know, I'm having some medical stuff, too. Not to sound like I'm just trying to get attention, because you're getting attention
It's
because of
okay.
your medical issues. But I have been traveling a lot. So my lupus has been flaring. And I've had a headache for like a month now.
Yeah.
And I should probably get that checked out, but I haven't.
You definitely should. And didn't you faint at your show?
Fainted.
Was that that was because of the lights?
It was so hot. So I did an improv show. Every month I host an improv show called The Dating Game with my girlfriend Jordan. And it's very fun. And we have one this month. I don't know the date off the top of my head, but look on my Instagram. But this last show, I did it a couple nights ago. I was so hot and I felt insane. Like I was feral the entire show because I could not focus. I didn't know what I was supposed to say because I was like sweating in a way that was visible. Like not just like, oh, I'm sweaty. Like it was like dripping.
Yeah.
I like couldn't see. Like there was sweat in my eyes. Like it was so bad. And then so half of the show is a dating show and then half the show is an improv portion. And when we went to go do the improv, I almost was like, I should go backstage and not do this because I'm going to pass out. But of course, I don't take care of myself and was like, I'll just push through.
Yeah.
And I did. Oh, the water bottle made a noise. I'm sorry. Then I did push through, and the whole second half of the improv portion, I like couldn't see. Like it was just like black.
Yes.
And I was playing this like raccoon. And I couldn't see anything, and I truly felt like I was on drugs.
Yeah.
It was insane. So then I went backstage, and I immediately, like passed out. I fainted. I had to like sit down and I like blacked out and I like didn't know what was happening. And then when I kind of was like aware of what was going on, I was outside of the theater sitting drinking a Coke. So thank you to whoever gave me that Coke. And but it was so hot. But then afterwards I posted because I felt so bad because I didn't get to say hi to anyone. I didn't get to thank the performers who did the show for coming to the show. So I felt like anxiety. So I posted about it on my Instagram story and was just like, sorry, I fainted. And a bunch of people were like, no, it was like insanely hot. Like multiple people were like, I had to leave the theater after and I felt like nauseous. And I was like, what is going on?
Oh, shit.
But I'm fine. I'm a fainter also. I'm a fainter and I'm a vomiter. Both are not that scary to me. It's okay. Get that Orajel out.
I just don't know how long it's going to take to dissolve. At least, it feels like nothing. That's such a creepy feeling. I'm having a sensory issue. No, but at least you were playing a raccoon who was
well, not the whole time, but who was feral. Yeah, yeah, it fit it pretty well.
Yeah,
there is a.
They're like,
in
wow,
the scene
she's
though,
really getting into it.
Yeah, exactly. Her eyes are, her mouth is foaming.
Her eyes are so beady.
Oh wait, I have a question because you're having tonsil stones, so you don't have your tonsils removed.
No.
Okay, well, can you get your tonsils removed as an adult?
Yeah, I got my wisdom teeth removed as an adult.
Yeah.
And they just kept me awake for that entire thing.
Yeah, that's unacceptable. Who did it? Your parents? Parents removed them themselves? They said, we'll do it. We don't have health insurance.
Honestly, mom's a doctor, so it wouldn't have been that bad. Actually, it would have been horrible. They're vastly different. But no, but I could feel the pressure, and then I could hear the crunch, and then they just pulled it out. And I was like,
Were you in pain?
Oh, well, they numbed it. They shot it up. But I was still very much awake.
That's unacceptable. Well, I got my tonsils removed when I was 5 or 6. And weirdly enough, or I guess I was older. I guess I was 7 or 8. I don't truly remember. But I was older. And I got them removed. And leading up to that, I had wet the bed my entire life. I was wearing pull-ups in 3rd grade.
Uh-huh.
And when they removed my tonsils, the next day, never wet the bed again.
Interesting. What is that, guys? In the comments below.
Some people think my old doctor said they thought it might have been. They think I have sleep apnea. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm going to try to explain this. I have absolutely no idea. But something about me having sleep apnea, and then I'm not really breathing while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I haven't wet the bed since.
Well, I mean, it is pretty common to wet yourself when you're choking.
Yeah. Well, I've wet myself awake a lot since then, but just in terms of sleeping, I haven't wet the bed because it wasn't a little bit. It was
full on.
Full on. Yeah.
When I was really drinking, I wet the bed a lot. I had to get up.
Really?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I had to get one of those bed covers.
Yeah. Well, when I was a little girl, I went for a sleepover. I was supposed to be staying at my friend's house for a couple nights because my mom was out of town, and they forgot my pull-ups. I was 7 or 8. And and we kind of discovered that I'd forgotten them late at night. And so the mom was like, well, look, we'll go get pull-ups tomorrow. But for tonight, just sleep on this. And she handed me a puppy pad.
Oh, my God.
And I slept on the floor.
On the puppy pad?
On the puppy pad.
She didn't even give you a couch cushion?
I don't remember. In my memory, no. I have a feeling she's going to hear this and be like, absolutely not. You were sleeping in a bed on this puppy pad. But in my head, it was so traumatizing because I was so embarrassed that in my head, I was sleeping on a cold steel floor on just a puppy pad shaking.
Oh, my God. Speaking of antics, because I would consider that antics.
Me pissing on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about some airport antics.
Airport antics. Dun, dun, I don't know why I'm trying to make a theme song for it.
Airport.
Dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun.
I wish you guys could see Sarah's eyes because they look so sad.
If any of you have ADHD and you have had a no Vyvanse day and then you're also on your period and you're also having allergies, I'm just trying. But there's no one steering this ship right now.
What about me? Kendahl can't do it. Clearly, she's an idiot.
I meant my body.
Oh, I see.
Not this show.
No one's steering this ship. If I'm not able to, Kendahl. Oh God, she goes off the deep end. Well, I'm proud of you for being here.
Thank you. Kendall's going to Alaska for 2 weeks.
I am.
So we can't afford not to record right now.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
So sorry. This is all for me, and I appreciate it, and I see you, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm also missing my pilot writing class.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've got to go to Alaska. What am I supposed to not go to Alaska?
I know.
No, I am sorry, but I did think we had more episodes already recorded, and that was my mistake, and
You know what? You win some, you lose most.
We've got some antics going on right now.
Yeah.
Sarah and I are 2 seconds away from getting into a screaming match, similarly to how people do on airports. Airport antics. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no, the Orajel.
I also all my sneezes are going to cough, but they're still it feels like the bridge of my nose is so inflated right now. Can you tell?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So Mia said, I mainly focused on drama that happens mid-flight since those moments tend to go more viral.
All right.
Yeah, because if you're acting a fool at the beginning of the flight, they can still kick you off.
Oh, yeah.
And
have you ever been on a flight where they kick someone off before it takes off?
No, have you?
No.
Oh.
I've been on a flight where as I was boarding, they were taking a woman off that I saw board. And I nudged Jordan as this woman boarded and said, I think they're going to kick her off the plane because she was blackout drunk.
Yeah.
And they certainly did. So they were like, you can't take this flight. But she was so drunk, I don't think she even knew what was happening. Like, she did not care at all.
Yeah.
But besides that, no. And honestly, I've never even been on a flight where there's been drama.
Yeah.
Really. What about you?
I haven't seen someone get kicked off, but I think I've told the story before. I was flying from South Carolina to LA for New Year's 2019, and we had a layover in Vegas, and I got on the Vegas flight, and ever since it was New Year's Eve, everyone was drunk, and there was this girl in this like tiny dress who was put both of her feet on the ceiling, and you like everything, your skirt just came down, and she was like being a little kid, and they were like, "Ma'am, you're gonna have to sit upright," and she was like, "Oh, come on." And I was like, it's a 45-minute flight. Just chill out for like a second. But I did. I thought it was kind of funny because I wasn't sitting next to her.
Yeah.
If I was, I'd be like, put your feet away.
Yep, put your feet away. Come on. I feel like I haven't experienced a ton of airport antics because I almost refuse to take flights with layovers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, of course I have to sometimes, but I pretty much don't ever. I always take a direct flight. Obviously, sometimes that's not possible, but I rarely do that. And I feel like that's where a lot of drama starts. People are really late. People are like, wait, I am not going to miss my next flight. I'm like, people get really stressed out. I'm always just on like flights where you get on and you get off.
Yeah.
And a lot of nighttime flights where people are just asleep.
Yes. I'm going to miss, I haven't really flown much this year. I'm going to miss being drunk on flights because when I do have a layover, I usually was wasted or like drunk. So like if I had like 15 minutes to run through O'Hare, I was like, you know what? If I miss it, we're gonna catch another one.
It's so wild to me when I hear you talk about like drinking that much.
Yes.
Because I am like, and I was saying this the other day because we, we could get alcohol on the flight.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, I cannot imagine drinking alcohol on a flight because I feel so delicate. Like whenever I fly, it feels like I'm getting prepared for a surgery. Like the day before I have to drink like so much water and I'm like doing a face mask and I'm like getting rested. And then when I get on the flight, I like have everything set up for myself. I'm like taking, Tylenol already and I'm just like prepare and taking multivitamins.
Yeah.
And the next day I still feel nauseous all day because the flying is just so stressful. So the thought of like on top of that getting drunk just feels crazy. Were you like sick all the time?
Maybe. I don't, you probably, but you just drink to like the hair of the dog sort of thing. But my favorite thing was going to airports and getting drunk because like there's no like rules, so if I was drinking at like 9
airports famously have no rules.
If I was drinking at 9 a.m., they'd just be like, oh, she's probably flown from Scotland or something.
Yeah. Do you ever go to the lounges?
Yeah, sometimes.
I like the lounges, but now I think I get bored now because I've been to enough lounges, like the American Express lounges.
Yeah.
And I used to be so excited by them, but they're not that exciting. Like it's just like cheese and like some like sandwiches.
Yeah.
And that's like really it. It's free. That's really nice. But the first time I went, I like was almost emotional. I was so excited. Like I couldn't believe how I was allowed to be in the American Express lounge. And now I feel like I'm always so annoying where I'm like, this is not enough food. And this is not enough. These chairs are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I've become a diva a little bit about the lounges.
Yeah.
That probably makes me seem like an asshole now that I'm saying it.
No.
I cause the and I yell at every single person who works there every time I go. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. But some people do. Anyways, people famously get so freaked
on
at
airplanes.
At airplanes is what I said.
Airplanes. We got three brain cells right now. We got to get them in line.
I'm functioning at the top of my level. This is just sad to see how me functioning at my best is going when you're not able to function.
You know, so there's something called air rage. Air rage is aggressive or violent behavior on the part of the passengers and crew of aircraft, especially during flight. Air rage generally covers both behavior of a passenger or crew member that is likely caused by physiological or psychological stresses associated with air travel, and when a passenger or crew member becomes unruly, angry, or violent on an aircraft during a flight. I remember I was really drunk on a flight one time, and I just listened to that song, I Can't Make You Love Me, on repeat for like 3 hours.
Interesting. And why?
I was thinking about my mom.
Yeah.
But it was fine, because when I landed,
I got to go home.
Right. And that's to your mom?
I thought that was funnier when I was thinking about it. And now I'm like, Jesus Christ. That song, I like this song, and now it just really like fucks up my like playlist that I had. I like new funk and like jazz. And so then it just goes to, I can't make you love me if you don't.
And that reminds you of your mom.
Yes.
You know what's an insane story?
What?
Is that when I was in acting school, so I was not, I suppressed a lot of my emotions for a really long time. Now I'm a big crier, but I was not always that way. So I was in acting school, and my Meisner teacher wanted to make me cry really bad because she was like, if Kendahl cries, that makes me a good acting teacher.
Yeah.
So we did this thing where we all stood in a circle, and one person would go out into the middle, and she would play a song that she felt like was connected to this person basically in some way.
Yeah.
And then the person in the middle would have to start dancing, and everyone around them would kind of like dance as well, or like do the same dance moves as the person in the middle. So she was like, Kendahl, go out to the middle. And she started playing Dance with My Father again.
Oh my God.
Because my dad was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing.
That's so fucked up.
Isn't it so funny though? I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I like started dancing, and I can put on a show. So I acted pretty emotional, whatever. And she was like, wow, that was inspiring to watch. And I was like, that was insane.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That's like all of what acting school is, I feel like. But it
People
always
like
makes
abusing
me laugh.
you?
I mean, emotionally, yes, 100%. Like we would have people like have boyfriends and girlfriends, and then they would like break up, and the teachers would like assign them together to be in a scene because they knew they broke up, and they would like have them do a scene that was like a breakup scene. Teachers in acting school, some of them were insane.
Yeah.
But that story always makes me laugh, and it reminded me of that. My dad had a hard time getting on planes because he was paralyzed. So back to airplanes.
Okay. So the background of air rage. The first case of air rage was recorded in 1947 on a flight from Havana to Miami. That's a hot flight.
Man, yeah.
When a drunk man assaulted another passenger and a flight attendant. Another early documented case involved a flight in Alaska in 1950 when a passenger attacked a crew member. Airline drama is so common that there was a popular reality TV show created about it. Airline was a British fly-on-the-wall television program that showcased the daily happenings of passengers, ground workers, and flight crew of Britannia Airways, and later EasyJet. In 2003, it was ITV's most popular factual program. The show had been sold to many countries worldwide, including New Zealand, Australia, and Japan. Airline was adapted into an American TV show in 2004 and ran for 3 seasons on A&E.
There you go. I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good show. Now I'm sitting here realizing that I wonder if I have actually witnessed a lot of air travel drama, but I'm realizing that whenever I'm on a plane, I immediately put on my headphones and play my Switch for like however long the flight is.
Yes.
So I have no idea what's going on around me.
Oh, yeah.
And my girlfriend sits next to me, and they know to, get me a Diet Coke. So I'm just sitting, I don't even have to look up to the flight attendants.
Yeah.
So people could be arrested around me, and I would have no idea.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just something I'm thinking about. Do you think that air rage is real, or do you think it's just assholes?
I think I think they're just people who are antsy already, confined to a small hot space where it smells weird. Oh my God, speaking of another body issue, my farts this morning have been
bad,
criminal.
And are they coming out now?
No, but they might.
Okay.
Because I have a heater on my back, and whenever I heat up my muscles, I always relax and I fart a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, I should Uber, and then I was like, if I fart, I'll kill the Uber driver.
Yeah.
Today's episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. Has this ever happened to you? Your mom is a doctor and your brother is a physical therapist, or a couple doctors. So you call them in the middle of the night because you have this sharp pain in your hand, and you describe your symptoms, and your brother yells at you, "Sarah, it's 2 a.m. I'm on call." And then your mom is like, "This sounds like an issue for your primary care physician." And you're like, all right, guys, you're no help at all, but I do appreciate it. I mean, it would be kind of weird if someone called me at 2 a.m. and they're like, "Sarah, quick, tell me a joke." I'd be like, you know what? Just go to a comedy club. But this is why I'm recommending ZocDoc, because on ZocDoc, finding the doctor that's right for you is seamless, and they're most likely not related to you, and the quality care you need is just a few taps away in the ZocDoc app. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. No more doctor roulette or going to your mom or going to your brother or scouring the internet for questionable reviews. With ZocDoc, you have a trusted guide to connect you to your favorite doctor you haven't met yet. Millions of people use ZocDoc's free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who is patient-reviewed and fits their needs and schedule just right. I recently got told by my primary care physician that I did find on ZocDoc that I have carpal tunnel, and that makes it super hard to be a content creator and person who is obsessed with Legos. You can imagine how disappointed I am right now, but I do like my doctor, and I don't blame them. I blame my own habits, like going on my phone way too long and doing too many Legos. But go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC. ZocDoc.com/BCC. Wait, I think my brother's actually on ZocDoc.
But do you think, what causes air rage?
I think... Oh, here we go. It's on you. I thought you were asking me. I said, Sarah, I don't fucking know. I have no idea. It says air rage is caused by stress. Etiquette expert Anna Post says a lot of rudeness and incivility comes from stress. And there's so many ways to be stressed when flying these days. I just am like, I'm stressed all the time. I actually get insane flying anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I get really nervous. I've become a lot better in the last year, but especially post-COVID, because I hadn't flown for a while, I would like be gripping my seat in a way that was like painful, and I would be like shaking the whole flight. I was so nervous we were going to crash.
Yeah.
And my partner has really even more severe flying anxiety. And we are so nice on flights and normal. I mean, if anything, we're just so inward because we're so stressed out. And so I am just like, yeah, with anything, people who don't know how to like, feel their emotions without lashing out at people become mean.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's like flight psychosis that's like you become a fully different person. I think it's just someone who truly doesn't know how to handle their emotions.
Well, I think like if you're already pissed off and you're sitting down, you can't shake it off. You can't like really speak about it because no one wants to hear it, and you're confined and hot and it smells like farts and feet. I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah.
But that's just a matter of taking beta blockers before the flight.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, take an Ativan.
Yeah.
And move on. What was I going to say? I feel like airports are a place that I really can't get annoyed with people. Like I rarely get annoyed anyways, ever. But there's been a couple times when I go to a store or I go wherever and I'm like, wow, the service here is like so bad that, I mean, it takes a lot to make me even say to myself, like, this is bad service. It would take like a waiter not coming up to my table for like an hour and a half. And then I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But in an airport, I'm like, how can you get mad at anyone? Like, it feels like one of those places where I'm like, no one here is in control of literally anything. Like the airplanes, when they come in, when they go out, if someone loses your bag, whoever you're talking to has had truly nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would disagree in that nothing pisses me off more than when someone is horribly inefficient in an airport. Inefficient for themselves.
Like at security, like a person who works there?
Or like loading onto the plane. Or like unloading off the plane. The fact that when the plane lands, you've stood up and you can reach for your bag, but you wait until it's your turn when you're standing there to go.
Oh, yeah, but those are people going on the flight.
Those are people leaving the flight.
I mean people who like work at the airport.
Oh, no, I don't get mad at the airport people, like the people who work there. But like people, if you're wearing like, thigh-high boots and you decide to like, oh, do I have to take these off? It's like, you've been here probably a million times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Oh, yeah. There's tons of people who make me annoyed who go to airports. There's always, it annoys me so much. Whenever people are like, okay, we're boarding the flight. Can we get our like basic, our group A to come up, every single person stands up. And I'm like, it's group A. None of you are not all in first class. I'm sure you want to be thought. Yeah. You want maybe people to think you're in first class. I don't really know. But they were just really stressed out. And they're like, oh, I want to make sure I'm lined up when they call group E or whatever, which is so far away. So they're all just like standing in front of the thing, and the people who work there keep being like, can we just sit down if you're not in group A? And people just cannot process it. And I always stay seated until they board my group. Yeah. And it is so easy to just stand up when they call you. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to stand? I'm always trying to find ways to sit for longer amounts of time. Yeah. Why would you want to stand up before you needed to stand up?
Well, probably because you're going to be sitting for a long amount of time.
But I think these people are just eager.
They're idiots. That's what they are.
Okay. Can I skip a little bit of this?
Yes, go ahead.
You said, listen, I won't know if you do. I'm so out of it.
We'll just touch on the main points.
Air pressure and dehydration on a plane can also lead people to irrational action. Oh my God, the worst thing that almost ever happened to me, that's an exaggeration, but I was on my 8th grade school field trip. We went to like Virginia and New York. I don't know. Washington, D.C. is the word I was looking for. Yeah. Went to Washington, D.C. And when I got off the flight, I had horrible cystic acne when I was in middle school and high school.
Damn, it developed over the period of the flight?
No, but I just had really bad. My skin was a wreck. It was always so bad. I took such good care of it. I since have been on Accutane. Yeah. But before that, I just had terrible acne. So I got on the flight. I was in 8th grade. And I slept through the whole flight. And then I got off the flight and I looked in my phone camera and my face had peeled off. I'm not even kidding. It was just a bunch of
oh God,
huge flakes of dead skin hanging from my face.
That's disgusting.
I know.
You want to know something else disgusting that happened recently? Last year I flew to Boston and on the flight I ate something weird.
What was it?
I think it was just sun chips. And I was on my hands and knees in the first class bathroom. I didn't care that it was wet on the ground, and I was vomiting so hard. I could feel all the blood in my face.
That was not the sun chips.
I don't know what
There's
it was.
No way. And also, food poisoning doesn't happen that fast. You probably drank a bunch of Orajel before you got on the flight.
It's very likely. But I kept... Get out of me. Sorry. It just feels like nothing in my mouth right now. And then I did it again. Yeah. I was I could have put my hands straight and pissed, but I could not control the vomiting. But that was something. And then the people in Boston were really nice. There's also what could cause air rage. The overall performance of the U.S. airlines has decreased.
What?
Whatever.
That feels crazy to me. I mean, I'm sure it's maybe true. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm there's no way in which it's decreased that much that people are going feral, fully freaking out. If anything, they've added more stores to airports.
Yeah, that is true.
Airports are one of my favorite places.
I think they're talking about literally in flight.
Wait, what do you mean?
They're talking about air rage is literally in flight. So it doesn't matter about the airport stores.
Okay, that's one way to think about it.
Because then if they're just getting mad at the airport, that's just ground rage.
Wait, so it's saying that say it again?
The overall performance of the U.S. airlines has increased. Customers still consider the flying experience to be poor, which can lead to air rage.
But they've got so many movies.
Kendahl, they're idiots.
I don't understand. They have so many movies. They have so many shows.
Air pressure, being hungover, just nervous. Crowded planes can also... Yeah, crowds. Dude, I get overstimulated in crowds.
Sure.
I absolutely hate... I always get an aisle seat when it's... when I have to pee a lot. Yeah. And then I love window seats, and I hate being smushed up against a man. I don't mind being smushed up against anyone as long as it's not a man.
Yeah. See, I feel like I'm bizarre because I'm a window seat girl.
Yeah.
Which I do not think is common for adults. That feels like a child thing to be I want to see out the window. But that's how I feel.
I feel like it'd be freaky if you're I'm a middle seat bitch.
I love the middle seat, and I don't want to know anybody on either side of me.
I just like the drama. No,
Yeah, it's a married couple. I'm can we switch seats? I'd like to sit in the middle of you two. Thank you so much.
I used to, when I flew American, I was specifically an exit row seat girl. Yeah. Because you get free drinks in the exit row.
Really?
Yeah, and you think that would be you need to be of sound mind to operate the door. But I would argue that you'd probably, if you're going to open up an air door, you should be wasted.
Yeah.
Because you're completely relaxed, and that's a very stressful situation.
Yeah, you probably would do a really good job. You're actually right.
Hey, that's why I tell people, like, so if you ever, like, read about a drunk driving accident, the drunk driver always usually survives because their body is very relaxed. Yeah. That's why, when you tense up, that's when you die. That's like a lot of drunk people survive being sucked into tornadoes as well, because when they're thrown, they're just so relaxed.
Is that true?
Yeah, alcohol relaxes you.
When it's like a superhero.
Yeah, like when you tense is when you break things.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is insane. Wow.
Yes, so drunk people should operate the exit doors.
I know. I really hope, knock on wood, because I'm literally taking a flight today. I hope I'm never in a plane crash.
Yeah.
Because every single time they go over the safety instructions, my girlfriend the whole time, who's so respectful and wants the person to feel like someone is listening to them, is always like, Kendahl, take off the headphones. Like, look and pull out the manual and be looking at the woman while they're, But I've heard this speech 60 times. I don't want to hear the, the safety regulations. But I know if we're ever crashing and I turn to my girlfriend and I'm like, what do we do? They will be so upset with me.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I told you to follow along. Because I have no idea. But I am like, if I listen now, I would not be hearing what this woman was saying. All I would be doing is I'd have my headphones off. I'd be holding the manual. I'd be listening to the words. And the whole time I'd be thinking like, I'm really listening to what she's saying. And nothing would be going in my brain.
If I was in a plane crash, I would self-sabotage. I'm killing myself immediately.
Really?
I'm not trying to survive that. I would
try to survive.
That's why I love sitting in the front. You have like a 15% chance of survival if you sit in the way back, but that's pretty much it.
Wow. Well,
yeah.
I don't know, but then what if it lands in water?
I can't swim. No, I'm kidding.
Can't?
I can't.
Oh, no. I feel like I would try to survive because it's what most things, I'm like a survival situation, I'm like, I just want to be dead. Like, I don't want to try to, like, if I'm trying to, like, escape from being kidnapped, I would be like, no, I just want to be dead.
Yeah.
But planes are the one thing I am, like, I feel like my adrenaline would be so high that I actually would not be in pain.
Yeah. I would black out.
Right. Like, I don't think that
No, I'd be completely useless. So, like, I wouldn't, Yeah, but yes. Sorry.
Crowded planes. Oh, we already read that. I'm sorry. I saw a comment the other day. I was reading our comments and it was like, wow, Kendahl went back into the Google Doc and started reading at the right point.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle, basically. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Groups traveling together, especially for leisure, are more likely to cause incidents. Traveling with a big group can be tough sometimes.
I don't usually like traveling with groups of people.
Yeah.
I don't even understand how people can go on girls' trips and they share one room. It would absolutely, I can't share a room. I would just pay out the ass,
Wow, yeah. I prefer to not share rooms, but I don't mind doing it. On a vacation, I don't mind doing it. But my vocal fry is really bad today.
I can't even notice.
Can you hear it?
I'm trying to.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah, I don't travel with it. Today I'm traveling. I'm going on an Alaskan cruise. I'm so sorry. And it's ruined Sarah's life, and I'm sorry.
We can't. She's going to be gone for 2 weeks, so we have to record today. So I was like, I'm going to fight my body at everything that's happening right now.
Yeah, and I am sorry. I really am actually sorry. But we're going, it's like a bigger group of people. And it's always just hard because you can't do any of the normal travel things you do. Like, I would usually get to an airport probably like an hour before. We're going to the Burbank airport, so even less than that. Like, I probably go like 45 minutes before. But with a big group, I feel like I need to plan 3 hours in advance we should get to the airport, because I'm like, with this many people, something is bound to go wrong. Like, someone's going to be late or their bag's going to be too heavy, or their ID's expired. I don't know. I just am so nervous about traveling with a lot of people.
I'm with the earth signs on this. I'm like, if I don't care if we all go together. I'm going right now. We can all meet up later. I'm going to go with the type A Virgo. I know you guys can.
You're a Virgo?
No, but I Virgos, Capricorns, Tauruses, love sticking with them when they travel because they're like on it. I can't do the showing up at the last minute.
No.
Oh my God, it's so funny. I forgot my ID. I will kill myself right now. I'm going to this airport.
What's your star sign?
Libra.
A Libra. Very interesting.
But I was raised in a military family, so when they say on time, they mean on time.
Yeah.
And that is like beaten into me.
Well, that's how I feel as an actor, kind of. Like
Yeah.
when I was growing up, I did acting all growing up, and then I went to acting college. And it feels like acting school wasn't not a college. I went to acting school. And I feel like in the acting world, and I don't even, now that I've done like professional things, I don't even feel this to be as true as they made you fear it was going to be. But they were like, I mean, in my acting school, if you were a minute late to class, the doors were closed and you were not allowed in. Like everything was just so like you have to be 20 minutes early or you will be like, I mean, just screamed at basically.
Yeah.
And I feel like as an adult, I was saying the other day, I was like, as I've gotten older, I've realized every time I'm like 10 minutes late for something and I'm like crying because I'm so scared of being late, I walk in and everyone's like, oh yeah, you're the first one here, like it's fine. And I over the years I've been like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I do try to, I'm rarely late for things.
Yeah. I just think with the military thing, you'd have to show up early or else you're late.
Yeah.
But there is some psychology behind air rage incidents. Air travel is stressful, even under the best circumstances. And a large part of that comes from having to relinquish control, which begins before you board the plane, if you didn't know, unless you're the pilot. In that case, you need to get it together. Sally Augustin of Design with Science, a company that offers consultations on how to build space with positive psychological outcomes, says the whole concept of airplanes is terrible from a psychological perspective. We're in a tube that we can't leave with all sorts of stressful things happening to us. So it's not surprising with all the mental energy that is diverted to dealing with that stress, we snap at each other. Thankfully, they took our guns at TSA. Augustin says a violation of personal space is basically built into airplanes' designs. That is true.
Yeah.
When I flew across the country with Dopey, this man, I hate sitting next to men, opened up my cat carrier and started petting Dopey. And I was like, that feels like you're opening up my pants right now.
What did you say?
I was like, don't ever touch my cat. Because he is sedated, and if you woke him up, he's like the type of cat that when he travels, like just nonstop meowing.
Yeah.
So I was like, these drugs can only last a certain amount of time, and I don't have more. So if you wake him up, like, I will lose my shit.
Yeah.
And I just told him not. And he was like one of those guys who was like an older guy who's like, I didn't know that was, I'm just trying to pet the cat. And I was like, don't fucking touch my cat.
Insane. That is truly insane.
I hate men. Oh God.
Yeah, I get very stressed on planes, although I've recently started feeling a lot better because I've, watched a lot of videos where people talk about how it's like, once again, knock on wood, but it is basically impossible for a commercial plane to crash.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but like the odds are just, I mean, I think it's helped me realize like, oh, if your plane does crash, like a movie will be made about you.
Yeah.
So like there's a positive.
It's really great.
As I'm crashing, I will be like, wow, this will be famous. Like,
my God,
I'm be having a movie like Tom Hanks is going to be.
I'm the next Sully.
Exactly. Like literally, like that's the last big plane crash. But I would never.
Yeah.
I mean, for, environmental reasons, but mostly, to be honest, I would never fly on a private plane.
Okay.
It will crash. In my head, it will crash for sure.
I'll fly private. I'm without morals right now. August.
Right now, only today. You're like, I'm so sick, I'll fly a private. I say though, I'd never fly a private jet, but I feel like if it was offered to me, it would be very hard for me to be like, no, but I think I would be too scared. Mm-hmm. Maybe one time. Maybe I say one time I get to go on a flight.
I'm just going to peer pressure you into doing this. Yeah. They also said it's a violation of personal space. You've got people waiting.
Oh, no. My Diet Coke.
Oh, it got on your shirt.
My new shirt.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm ready. Sorry.
It's a violation. This is going to be, I don't know what. Vox reporter writes that on a plane you have to abide by a set of rules that puts you in a very close quarters with others. Yes. So why are we seeing more cases of air rage? Let's get to it. We already talked about the psychology. These people are stressed and they're invading people's personal space.
Yeah.
Air rage events have increased since the International Air Transport Association, IATA, started collecting data on disruptive passenger behavior in 2007. So they got more disruptive when they found out they were being watched.
They like attention.
Yeah. This is just purely for attention.
There's been no definite explanation for that trend. See, this is okay.
You got it.
Let me start it over. No definite explanation for that trend has been established. Possible explanations include heightened anxiety for one's safety and irritation with invasive security. What? Like, I don't understand what that means. What's the invasive security? Like, where they
getting
touch you,
searched at like TSA.
They searched me the other week.
Did you have anything on you?
No, imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I didn't. But I told my partner what you had said about how when you wear underwear that's too small and it makes your vagina hot, it shows up as like
heat.
something as heat on the machine. And that's where it was at.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of embarrassing. Now I know they know that my vagina is just super hot.
Yeah.
But I was like, I said to my partner after, I was like, it does not bother me at all. I do not care. But I am like shocked that this is not more of an issue because they were like rubbing my vagina. Like it was a woman and she was very nice and very clear about what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But she was literally like taking her hand, putting it on my vagina and then just like rubbing. And I was like, what? I was like, this is insane, but I don't know how to change it. But I was like, was probably very upsetting for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Maybe there's an alternative that people know to voice if they don't want to do that.
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
You shouldn't sexually harass people when they're doing their job. But if they are like basically sexually assaulting you, even if it's in the name of the government, you should be able to be like, really get in there. You know what I mean?
Wait, you should be like, come on.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Apply pressure.
You should be able to, yeah, you're right, exactly.
Like, you're already touching me. Like, oh, you're invading my privacy, but I can't say something weird.
Yeah. But it was crazy. So maybe people don't like that. That leads to stress or excitement. I don't really know. Most incidents involved the mandated use of face masks, scarves, or covering under federal law. And so did you travel during COVID? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that made me sound like I was being like, did you travel during COVID?
Well, I had like a flight home, and I had a face mask that said "gay as fuck," and I was flying out of South Carolina, and the TSA lady was like, "You can't have curse words on your mask," and I was like, "Gay is not a curse word." I thought she was being homophobic towards me, and she's like, "Fuck is a curse word," and I was like, "You know what? Sorry about that."
That is very funny.
I thought I was like, "Studio, what's wrong with you?" But yeah,
that is so funny. Yeah, did you mind wearing a mask on planes? Not like obviously you didn't mind, like you weren't gonna do it, but like was it? Did you feel like you could breathe okay?
Yeah, I felt fine. I mean, I just felt like I was breaking out because I was breathing my hot air onto my face, but I didn't really mind.
The mask never bothered me because I wore it before the pandemic and a little bit during the pandemic. I worked as a front desk person.
Yeah.
And so I had to wear a mask all like 8 hours a day anyway, so it wasn't like it was different for me. But the N95s, sometimes I would still wear them I would wear N95s on a plane, but sometimes that made me feel like I was going to have a panic attack.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to, I have like freaked out, and I'll like lift it off my face just so I can like take deep breaths. Oh my God, do you want to know like the more effective way to like calm down a panic attack with a breathing exercise? Don't do that whole like counting down, and like you gotta breathe in deep twice. So it's like, and then you release it instead of just like going in and out. And if you try that, like it'll calm you down a lot quicker. Like, try it.
Also, if you have sex,
do it twice. And then breathe out. You feel it in your stomach.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's actually nice.
It's almost instant.
But yeah, if you have sex, it'll stop you having a panic attack. If you're having a nice time. Let's see. Okay.
So like at the start of the pandemic, people were freaking out about masks, and then some experts suggest that the primary cause of air rage is the deterioration of economy class amenities.
Economy class.
You can't get your sun chips, and now you're gonna punch people in the face.
I don't like sun chips. They're fine.
Yes.
But I don't love them. And JetBlue has, I won't get too into it, but they changed their soda that they usually use. They used to be
bastards.
They used to be a Coke plane.
Yeah.
And now they're a Pepsi plane.
Oh my God.
More on that later. But they usually have Cheez-Its, which I'm obsessed with. I will eat 18 bags of Cheez-Its.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I usually get. But then last week I took a Delta flight, and they had sun chips and cookies.
Yeah,
and I wasn't pleased.
Delta sun chips.
Wasn't pleased with that.
Mm-hmm. I think we should keep reading some of this.
Okay.
Flight attendants receive training. So the reason why we're talking about this is just because people film it a lot. By the way, I don't know if we said that. We film like you see like people having like breakdowns in the airport.
Like, what part of the internet is this? No, yeah, people are always posting like people freaked on my flight. And now there's these really weird videos where they're like not real, but they're like have a plane set. Have you ever seen these?
No.
It's like a set of a plane, and it's like actors and a person's filming, and they'll film and they're trying to make it like a viral airport antic video.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. I gonna keep reading. Flight
There you
attendants
go.
receive training to deal with these incidents. Sarah Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants, says flight attendants are trained to de-escalate volatile incidents. They're taught methods like using a school teacher voice or attempting to cajole, calm, and soothe in the situation. The IATA published an entire guide on unruly passenger prevention and management. It lists incident motivators and triggers such as alcohol, mental breakdowns, and emotional triggers off board, like losing a job, or in flight, losing a job. In-flight disruption and discontent may be diverted or avoided through addressing passenger complaints and by increasing consumer information and comfort. There are repercussions of air rage. In September of 2022, Dutch Airlines KLM and Transavia established a joint blacklist for banned passengers, meaning that any passenger misbehaving on a flight of either airline is banned from flying from both airlines for the duration of 5 flights.
5 years.
5 years. They allow them to buy plane tickets, but they turn them away 5 times before they can actually board the plane. I had a friend. Airlines are.
Jonathan, you're back again.
You gotta go.
It's like I went all the way through security. No, you know how it goes.
I had a friend buy a plane ticket for, I think, they were somewhere in France, but the Paris attacks happened. And so they were like about to fly to that part of France. Wow. And they were like, they called their airline, and the airline was like, we're sorry, you can't cancel a flight because of acts of terrorism. It has to be declared an act of war. And so like they were like, are you fucking serious?
That's so insane.
But the French president said it was an act of terrorism, and so they're like, can't refund you. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
But they can't. The flight got canceled, right?
No. Wow. They had to go. But they
got on the flight.
What?
Did they get on the flight?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
They had a really great time in France.
Okay.
You guys are doing great out there.
Repercussions of air rage. We already read that part. As a part of Federal Aviation Administration's reauthorization bill, the FFA can propose up to $37,000 per violation for unruly passenger cases. Previously, the maximum civil penalty per violation was $25,000. One incident can result in multiple violations. Damn. There you go. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot. So you can get charged and you can't fly anywhere. There are like no-fly lists, and 2020 airlines warned passengers that they can enforce their own no-fly list intended to ban disorderly customers from flying in the future. Hundreds of passengers are currently on those lists. Yeah, because COVID.
Yeah.
They're like, you're silencing me. I can't breathe with this mask on.
I just don't understand how that ever happened, because I am like, why are you... So you're telling me you bought a plane ticket.
Yeah.
And on every single part of that purchasing process, it said you will have to wear a mask on this flight. Uh-huh. Every single part of it. It was just like plastered on everything. Then you get to the airport, there's signs that are like, you have to wear a mask while you're at the airport.
Yeah.
And then you get on the plane and they're like, here, where's your mask? You need to put on this mask. And you're like, got it. Then you're on the plane and you're like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
That feels crazy to me. And I've never been on a flight where I like don't need to immediately get to where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like I always am like, I'm going here for a meeting. I'm going here for a vacation. I'm checking into my hotel tonight. I'm not like, I'm always just so surprised when they're like, you'll have to get off the plane. And they're like, all right, then I'll do it. I'll get off the plane if you're going to kick me off the plane. I'm like, where are you going where this is worth you missing like your kid's graduation or something? It's wild.
Exactly. That's like, they don't think that the rules apply to them. That's something I don't know if this makes sense. Whenever an American flies to like a country, a very dangerous country, that they're like, do not travel here. There is like no government. And then the Americans go and they're like hiking, and then they get caught by those people who are like, the no government, like guns, and seeing the videos of the Americans being like, we didn't know that this would happen. I'm like, you deserve I'm so sorry, but you deserve about everything that's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about the mask people. They're like, and I'm like, you throw them out of the plane while it's still flying, you know?
Right. Well, right. And that's what I proposed. And I seriously, but even if it was like, you find out that there's peanuts on the flight, and if you're even close to peanuts, you die. I would be, and they're freaking out and are like, hey, I can't do this. And they're making a fuss. I'd be like, well, I understand that. Could you have looked up before and been like, there's going to be peanuts on this flight? Probably. But I understand the stress. I don't understand the stress of like, I'm like, you're going to cancel your vacation.
Yeah.
You're going to cancel, miss something, miss a meeting, get in trouble, but spend so much money because you don't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. And they always act surprised. I'm like, this is deep into 2021. What are you, didn't know what a mask was? What are you confused by? Like, you knew this was going to happen. It's so bizarre to me.
Idiots.
Like, I've never been that passionate about something. Like, I've never been so passionate about something that I would leave a plane. Even if, like, a flight attendant called me, like, a slur for gay people, I would still be like, look, I'm not missing this flight.
All right. I'll just take a water.
All right.
I won't talk about Pepsi anymore.
I get it.
You got me.
You don't have Dr. Pepper. Mm-hmm. Oh, they never have Dr. Pepper. That would be incredible. Flights of Dr. Pepper, I'd be on a flight every day.
I think Dr. Pepper tastes like cough medicine.
That's fucked up.
It's so bad.
It's actually fucked up. You drink Orajel.
I don't drink
and
it.
you're making fun of Dr. Pepper?
I apply it liberally to the back of my throat.
Listen, I'm not here to judge you.
Yeah, it says, however, by April 2022, with the federal mask mandate was lifted, those carriers were quietly inviting those passengers back to fly with them. So yeah, like apparently 300 people got banned because of the... Delta said it would be restoring flight privileges for customers who demonstrated an understanding of their expected behavior when flying with us. This new forgiveness policy is being applied to those passengers who were banned for mask non-compliance. The Delta announcement came a day after United made a similar one. American and Alaska Airlines both followed suit. However, passengers who have behaved violently are still on those no-fly lists from the airplanes. Good luck taking a train across the U.S. It's actually like probably the one of like better forms of travel, but it will take a lot longer.
Yeah, that's true. And they wouldn't. I mean, it's actually a really beautiful way to get Republicans to be a little more eco-friendly.
You take a train.
They're all having to walk and take trains.
Yeah,
can't take a flight. It's good. It's a good thing.
But now they're actually harassing people who work on trains.
Yeah, they're like, why isn't this a plane?
Yes.
I really do feel like it's so sad for those people during that time. Like all the people who were so anti-mask for the most part were, in my life at least, the same people I'd known who were like, why did people protest? Go back to work. Go to school. Why are you spending all this time protesting? And it would be for like, equality or racism or whatever. That's what people were protesting. And they were like, that's just a waste of time. Then all of a sudden, these same people, and my small town had a lot of this, a lot of protests from anti-maskers. And they had like cauldrons out in front of stores, and they were burning masks, and they were holding signs that were like, we will not comply. And I'm like, how embarrassing. In like 80 years, your kids will look back on this, or your grandkids, and see photos of you burning masks, and they'll be like, oh, that's the cause they picked. Yeah. Out of all the causes, that's what and it was just wild to me because I was like, I've never seen these people care about anything. Yeah. Like even, when, sorry, I burped.
Ew. I haven't blinked in forever. Keep going.
Oh my God, I coughed and then I burped while I was coughing. We have to cut this out. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, these are people I'd never seen care about anything. Like even they were anti-gay, but like when gay marriage happened, I didn't see them protesting. I had never seen them care about anything, and I was like, it is fascinating that this is what they've chosen. Maybe it was just because everyone was unemployed at the time for the most part. Yeah, and they had more time. I don't really know, but I was like, out of all the things, this is what. And then I saw photos from back, during the, I hope I get this right, the Spanish flu, I think was the one I saw photos from, where they also had a mask mandate. Yeah. And the same people wasn't the same people, but I assume their grandparents, I don't know, were protesting it as well. I was like, why is this a thing that somehow gets you all really fired up?
I think
putting on a little mask.
I think it's because those people are so unimportant to the world that their presence in any situation has never made a difference. So they see you could go missing and they would not notice. And so when you see other people trying to make a difference or contribute to a greater cause, that incites something in them because they have never been a part of something big and meaningful.
Yeah.
So,
but it's been nice because to me, I was like, well, now they can't talk about the protesting the same way because they did it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They already, and it was for the stupidest thing. I cannot even, it was terrible.
They're idiots.
And their signs are always so ugly. It always showcases that they're like, wow. I'm like, wow, the Republican Party is not where the creatives are.
No, it's not.
Their signs just say like, no. In terrible block letters. Horrifying. Bans due to U.S. Capitol riot. I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't?
That the Capitol had a riot. Just kidding. No, I didn't know that they banned people from flights because of the Capitol riot.
They got pictures of people who were at the Capitol riots, and they were like, "Do you know these people?" And then especially if they were flying back from the Capitol riots, they were like, "You were identified there. You are now like treason or something like that." Like,
well, I just thought they'd be arrested, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, probably they can. Oh, yeah, if you know someone who's been at the Capitol riots, you can get them arrested.
Man,
yeah.
Remember when they tried to make it seem at first they were like, these were liberal people dressed up as conservatives?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Doesn't make any sense.
You guys are huffing paint.
We should honestly shoot a full episode on the Capitol riots because that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that happened. The FBI Washington Field Office Assistant Director in Charge, Stephen D'Antuono, said that the Bureau... I picked a hard sentence.
I don't even...
Bureau would consider... Well, you know what? We're skipping it. Who cares? The no-fly list is derived from the FBI's terrorist screening database known as the TSDB or Terrorist Watch List. The FBI and other intelligence services can nominate individuals for the list or the selectee list, which designates an individual as a subject of additional airport security screening.
Oh, wow.
2 days after the Capitol Hill riot on an American flight that was en route from D.C. to Phoenix, passenger videos showed the pilot threatening to divert to Kansas if passengers didn't behave.
The ultimate threat.
Yeah.
We're going to stop in Kansas.
We're going to say you have to spend a full day there until you've learned your lesson.
We're going to skip down a little bit to viral. So we're going to talk about some viral cases of air rage. I want to skip to, in November of 2017, a plane was forced to land after wife discovers husband's affair mid-flight.
Man, what would you do in that scenario?
Beat the shit out of him.
So you would do the same thing?
Yeah, I'd take the mask for the air pressure dropping and I'd wrap it. No, I would never. I'd just be like, excuse me, can you move me to another seat? Yeah, I'll sit in the bathroom the entire flight.
Man, that is a hard scenario, though. Obviously, I'm not like, I would do what she did. But I am like, what do you do? It is like, wow, you're just stuck there sitting next to, but what if there's not an open seat and you just have to like sit next to
the person who broke up with you?
Who cheated on you, and then be like, can you pass me that? Like, can you take my bag down? And,
yeah.
I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, that's so embarrassing and terrible.
I feel like it's a control tactic because, like, the person, like has to make you sit with them because normally you would storm out or something or beat them up. But you can't beat them up in public or storm out of a plane.
Right. It's like when people break up at restaurants.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, that's insane. But it's like, yeah, because then it stays. It has to stay calm.
That is true.
Which honestly is kind of smart.
Qatar Airways plane was forced to land mid-flight after a woman who used her sleeping husband's thumb to unlock his smartphone discovered he was having an affair. The couple and their child were flying to Bali, Indonesia for a holiday. The woman repeatedly hit her husband after learning of the infidelity. The captain was forced to make an unscheduled stop in India when the cabin crew was unable to restore order. The Times of India said the woman made such a ruckus that the plane had no other choice but to make an unscheduled landing. The family spent the day at Chennai Airport and left for Malaysia on another flight later that night. They went on another flight altogether.
All right, things worked out.
That is absolutely wild to me. The thing is I've been mad and I've been deeply upset on a flight, but to be so upset that I ground a plane, I feel like I'd have to be absolutely losing it.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten horrible news on a flight before, and I've cried for 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
But to cause a ruckus?
To cause a damn ruckus?
I know.
Unheard of and unacceptable. It really is. There's also a woman who was kicked off the flight after refusing to put her dog in its carrier. A Las Vegas woman yelled obscenities at a flight attendant and fellow passengers as she was kicked off a Delta Airlines flight from New York to Georgia. The woman was told to get off the plane after allegedly refusing to put her dog in a carrier case. The woman told the flight attendant, "My dog was sitting on my lap. I put him in the bag. He's in the bag." When another passenger chimed in, "Get off the plane," the woman said, "I am. Shut the fuck up." With that, the woman threw a water bottle at the other passenger. The flight attendant, who had kept his cool up until that point, had enough. "Nobody acting this way flies on a flight with us," he told the woman. "Okay, fuck you," she responded. As she walked down the aisle, she smashed one of the many cell phones recording her. The woman later apologized, saying, "I am sorry that I got so upset. However, I felt like I needed to stick up for myself. I know I need to work on my emotions, but they weren't right either." Okay, what do we think? Am I the asshole? Airplane edition.
You are the asshole.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I understand if your animal is having a little bit of a freak out, but I've had an animal. You've got to prepare ahead of time with an animal. I understand that the animal can't control anything, like it's an animal, but you also, as the owner, should have gotten like sedatives. When I checked to see if I could bring my cat on a plane, I always make sure to like check the under, the storage, space or whatever. So like you could have prepared a lot better.
I also feel like sometimes this really doesn't apply to this woman because I have no idea why she was flying with her animal. I totally understand having to fly with your animal sometimes, like just by need. But there are some people who take their animals everywhere. This is kind of a whole other issue. But sometimes I'm just like, your animal doesn't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Like your animal does not want this. It's like I feel the need sometimes to take my little chihuahua to a dog park to feel like a good mom, but I don't because I'm like, she doesn't want to do that. She does not want to do that. And we'll always get like, I'll be at a hotel and I'll see, or like I'll be at a bar. This always kills me. I'm at a bar and someone's like brought their dog and the dog's just sitting next to them, like with its tail between its legs. And it's like, what? This dog is probably so overwhelmed. It's so loud. Why is the dog here? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't need to bring your dog. Like, just stop. And I think people will be like, well, you'd bring your child here. And I'm like, okay, well, the dog is different. It has like different ears and different sensory stuff, and it's just different.
Yeah, I think a lot of animal owners, but especially dog owners, have this weird sort of entitlement that they think that everyone likes dogs.
Right. No.
I personally do not like dogs unless I know the dog.
Yeah.
Like I would have to know, it'd have to be like a family dog or like a friend dog. So I'm like acquainted with it. I remember one time at the old place I used to live, it was raining and I walked into like the 7-Eleven like next door to get like something.
Yeah.
And this dog with massive claws, like muddy, it like puts its paws up on my chest and it got mud all over and I was so pissed and the owner was like she's so friendly and I was like this is
insane.
I was so pissed off. I was like, I understand the dog if the dog doesn't know, but you should not be like dismissive of that behavior.
Yeah.
What if I was allergic to a dog? Also, this like I don't like when people don't leash their dogs or train their dogs.
Do not even go. It makes me so mad because my dog hates other dogs.
Yeah.
Hates other dogs. And she is 11 and we got her when she was 6. She's like, we're not trying to like have her meet other dogs to get better. It's like she's just old and that's just how she doesn't like other dogs. But we keep her very tight on a leash if another dog is nearby, and people will just have their dog run up to her off leash. And they're like, she's friendly. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Mine isn't. I mean, my dog obviously is so small, I could just pick her up. But I'm like, I know they're doing that to people with big dogs. I'm like, somebody is going to eat your dog. And also, my dog was shitting, and now it's going to shit my house because you interrupted its shit. And I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this?
I hate irresponsible dog owners. Like I was talking to like years ago, my sister got bit by a dog and she had to get stitches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost out. Okay, sorry.
I'm scared of what's going to happen when it comes out.
And so they had to put the dog down because you have 2 days to produce like the vaccines, like the shots, and they didn't. And everyone got mad at my sister. She had like enough of a dog bite. Have you seen those pictures of people who have gotten their lips bitten off by dogs?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yes, you would. It's not the dog's fault. Yeah. But you would have to put it down if this becomes a routine behavior.
Well, that's exactly, and you never know what people's experience with dogs are either. Because like even your sister, it's like, if a huge dog, maybe she doesn't feel this way, but if like a huge dog comes running up to her on the street.
Yeah. I think people treat their dogs, you should think of your dog as like a man where like not every man on the street is gonna hurt you, but a lot of people do have very negative experiences with men. So like it's normal to be afraid of them. But yes, like it just like it's you can't be like, oh, my baby would never do that. Like just it doesn't matter about you and what you think your dog is capable of. Also like to say like to let your dog do whatever and be like, it's an animal, what can you expect? My cat was throwing up everywhere in my house, and it would be totally unacceptable for me to be like, oh, it's a cat, it's gonna throw up some places. I took it to the vet, and the vet was like, is there anything super loud right next to the litter box? Or like the cat was like throwing up, shitting. And so I was like, he's not eating weird like different food. And it turns out every time the washer was going, it was right next to his litter box. So you know what I did as a responsible pet owner? Instead of being like, what can you do? He's a cat. I moved the fucking litter box
right
away from the washer.
Yeah, very responsible.
Because yes, so we're gonna talk about more people being kicked off.
Okay, football player Odell Beckham Jr. kicked off flight for appearing unresponsive.
He's dead.
Oh, God. Is he really?
No.
Oh, an American Airlines flight, the crew raised concerns when Beckham Jr. appeared unresponsive and took off his pants prior to taking off. Listen, we've all been there. A medical emergency was called and the plane was halted as fire crews and police responded. Sorry, I had to burp again. Footage shows an officer speaking while wearing a body camera saying he was in underwear. He told the flight attendant that he wasn't clubbing all night. He's either drunk or both pills and drunk. The officer seemed happy with Beckham Jr.'s demeanor, and the fire crew told the flight attendants that a decision to remove him from the plane was up to them. One female flight attendant was unhappy about kicking off with Beckham Jr. on board. One female flight attendant was unhappy about taking off with Beckham Jr. on board in the state, and she said, he's mad at us because we called you. We said, we're worried about you. I don't know if he's going to deteriorate when we're in the air. Okay, so he ended up being fine, but
yeah,
this led to some angry exchanges with fellow passengers.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that makes sense. If someone's having a medical emergency or they're unresponsive at the beginning of the flight, you're still on the ground, I would take them off because it could only get worse, like, if on the plane, You're going to have to, like, either pause it right now, delay it a little bit, or like land in Kansas with all the Trumpies.
Yeah, they all,
Just like, so yeah, I mean, it's like why at a certain point pregnant women can't fly if you go into labor.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't think about that, the fact that there probably were a bunch of flights that were like, they had to land the plane with all the people who were Trumpers that didn't want to put on masks.
Yeah.
And then there was a flight with not as many people, and they were like, all right, we're adding like 30 people to our flight. And it's all these just like really angry maskless people. And you're like, please don't make them get on my flight. Flight attendant yells at passenger after he makes her colleague cry. On Indigo flight from Istanbul to Delhi, an argument erupted following an issue about meals being served on the flight. The passenger had asked for a sandwich, and the crew told him they would check if they had one available. The man allegedly began shouting, which caused a member of the cabin crew to cry. Another cabin crew member can be heard saying, "Shut up, I am not your servant." Sorry, I drank this Diet Coke. Now I keep burping.
You're okay.
She also tells the man to stop pointing your finger at me and yelling at me. My crew is crying because of you. The flight attendant continued to tell him that the crew can only serve what his boarding pass states, and the passenger shouts, "Why are you yelling?" The flight attendant replied, "I am so sorry, sir, but you can't talk to the crew like that. I'm literally listening to you with all due respect, but you have to respect the crew as well." Later, he asked the woman, "Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Shut up." The argument concluded with the crew member telling the man, "I am an employee. I am not your servant."
That's like, I hate when abusers do that. That's called like reactive abuse, or like where you push someone and eventually they snap and they start yelling, and then the person is like, whoa, now you're abusing me because I pushed you to this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like so fucking annoying. She's yelling because you were yelling. So to be like, why are you yelling at me? All these people should just push them out of the goddamn plane.
I know. Very easy solution.
Yes.
There was also a man kicked off a flight after punching another passenger. I mean, I don't even know if we need to read that one. That feels pretty self-explanatory.
He punched someone.
Woman kicked off a plane for drinking mimosas beforehand.
What?
Sarah Shower. Oh my God, this is you.
April 2023, I broke my sobriety. A video of passengers kicked off a plane after she had a mimosa went viral. Super lightweight. She is 90 pounds soaking wet. The spokesperson for the airline told Newsweek one of the passengers exhibited concerning behavior during the pre-boarding process. She probably took like a Ativan or a Xanax, and that's basically a way to like roofie yourself if you drink a drink after you take an Ativan. So she got kicked off the plane, and she said, "Oh, I'm drunk." Shh. According to the FAA, the boarding of a passenger who appears to be intoxicated is a violation of federal aviation regulation. After she disembarked the aircraft, the passenger said a member of staff at the gate told her, if you were slurring your words and stuff, it's my job to not even let you on the plane. You were fine to me." So she wasn't even slurring her words. She was like, "Between me and all the flight crew, I'm drunk."
Oh, no. And they kicked her. Wow.
You couldn't even keep it together. That's me. Like, one time I got pulled over for speeding, and I wanted to make a joke with the cop. I had just driven all the way to D.C. to Virginia Beach with no, like, registration on my plates. And I was like, if you want to hear something funny. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say that because I'll get another fucking ticket.
Oh, yeah. I always bring out all the lies. I've gotten myself into some trouble. One time I got pulled over for speeding, and he was like, why were you were speeding a lot? And I was like, I was running really late for work. And he's like, then why do you have a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts in your car? And I was like, that's why I'm running late.
You should be like, I'm a cop.
I'm going to work. I have to bring donuts to you. What is the problem?
Officer McCarran.
But I was like, what do you think's happening? I am late because I clearly thought I had enough time to get Dunkin', and then I didn't. And now I'm running late to work. So I think it's pretty clear what happened. But he didn't give me a ticket. Anyways.
I think I would just piss myself.
What do you mean when?
Like, if a cop pulls me over and I want to get out of it, I would fully piss myself, and I'd be like, listen, officer, I understand that I was going 90 and a 70, but I had to pee, and as you can see, it's just, give me your ticket. It's already, another thing that happened today.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully they would feel some smidgen of, like...
I've thought about that a lot, where I'm, like, going home to, like, I'm about to shit myself or something. And I'm like, wow, what if I'm not even speeding, but I'm like, what if I got pulled over right now? Like, I would shit myself in front of this person. And I wonder how many times they've pulled people over and the person's like, I'm speeding because I'm about to shit myself. And I'm like, okay, go. Like, go. Or they're probably fucking not. They're probably like, shit yourself in front of me.
Dude,
pay this ticket.
At a certain point, if I have to shit, or like if I'm at like a super big low, like I get really anxious when something bad is about to happen to me. But if I'm already having the worst day ever and something bad happens to me, I'm just like, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not even anxious anymore. Like I'm going to jail. Well, yeah, happens to the best of us.
And then the last one's flight deplaned after a man gets mad at a crying baby.
Which is, if the parents are not doing anything to soothe the baby, then I'm like, what WTF? But like, it's a baby. It's on a plane. It's loud. It's gonna be a baby. Like this is like what's that? It's something that you consider before you buy a plane ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I am just like, it's fine. I'm also like, there's so many things I'm like, maybe the mom should be doing something to comfort the baby, but I'm also like, there's so many things you can do to make yourself not hear this baby crying. You know what I mean? Like,
get
drunk, put on some headphones, get drunk, and turn on a movie and like chill the fuck out. Like, I think there's so many people. I feel like I've lived so much of my life trying to accommodate other people, which I'm working on. But there's so many people who walk through this earth who have never had to accommodate anyone. Like, truly, like these like white men have never had to think like, what can I do to make other people more comfortable?
Yeah.
How can I be more accommodating? So when they're like, oh, I'm going to have to like change something about my routine or do something different to make myself feel okay with this baby, that's insane to ask of me. And this baby should just be removed from the flight instead of me having to like put in earbuds or whatever.
Yeah. Well, like luck favors the prepared. So if you go throughout life assuming that all conditions will be perfect, you're probably bad at your job. You're probably bad at like a lot of relationships. Like you just be prepared for the worst. You don't even have to experience the worst. Yeah. But if you have like noise canceling, if you know that continuous crying for 5 hours would piss you off, realize that, hey, there might be a baby on the plane, get some noise canceling headphones or at least get some earplugs.
Yeah. And also maybe it's just because I have nephews, but I'm like, it's really easy for me to drown out babies crying. Yeah. Especially if it goes on for so long and they're not right next to me. But even if I'm like holding my nephew and he's scream crying, I do feel like I'm not like, it's so easy to just be like, it's okay. It's just not like it's like a white noise machine. You know what I mean? That's how it feels. But anyways, I mean, I'm getting on a flight today, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay.
I'm nervous. Are you excited to see your aunt? She's in the building. She just texted me that she arrived.
I am super excited to see my aunt. Her name is Carol, which is crazy because I really do have an aunt named Carol, so I'm really excited to see her for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
But she's going to talk to me about like her previous flying experience, and I'm really excited to see. I think she might have gone viral.
She did. She had a viral, and I texted to you. I was like, oh my God, is this your Aunt Carol? This is insane. Because she got wild on an airplane and she got escorted off.
That's just like her. But we're going to interview her now and talk about the virality of it, but we will be right back.
All right. Bye.
And we're back. This is my Aunt Carol.
Hello, Sarah. It's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you after how many years?
It hasn't been that long. I feel like you're forgetting I was on the podcast a couple months back.
Oh, yeah, you were.
You blocked that out? Is this too traumatizing for you?
Maybe I.
Never, that was awesome. I've been calling you every week. You haven't been responding.
Oh, I got a new phone.
Oh, can I get that number?
It's a 91.
Oh, this is a fake number. Trust me.
No, call 911. Someone will pick up.
Trust me. I know that phone number.
Yeah.
No, I've been to a bunch of bars where guys give me fake numbers. I know the look in your eyes is the same as those guys.
Well, I mean, Aunt Carol, let's get to the gist of this.
Let's get to it. I'm sure you heard the news.
I heard you had a bad flight experience last month. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I was taking a JetBlue flight. Can you guess where I was going?
Los Angeles?
You were close. I thought you could get it, Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to Las Vegas. I try to go every couple months. Because you know why? Because I enjoy it.
You just have to.
I enjoy Las
yeah.
Vegas. I think it's so awesome. And nobody thinks I'm weird there. I'm tired. I'm a little eccentric.
Yeah.
I get it. But every time I do anything, people say, oh, and Carol, she's weird. They don't answer my calls. I'm looking at you, Sarah. But in Las Vegas, I'm just like everybody else. They say she's on drugs. Little do they know I'm fully sober. This is just my personality.
So hard to believe. But I love a town with a lot of rich history.
Exactly right. They do have a lot of history there. I'm not sure what it is because I'm always gambling when I'm there. But I love Las Vegas, so I wanted to go for my birthday.
Oh, okay.
My birthday, Sarah.
Exactly.
It's my birthday. Didn't receive a card. Just kidding. I'm not going to keep making fun of you for this.
No, I sent a card.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did to
No.
the
To what?
77.
It's my old address.
Oh, damn.
It's my old address. I tell you that every year. I lived there like 10 years ago.
Sorry, I spaced.
Sarah. Anyways, I was going to Las Vegas for my birthday, and I took a JetBlue flight.
Yes.
Big spender over here. I took the JetBlue flight because they have on their TVs, they have, what's it called? They've got Real Housewives of Dallas. And I know one of the girls on there. I went to college with her.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I didn't go to college, but I lived next to a college, and she went to that college, and I would,
Yeah.
I asked her for some of her. She always had those, what are they called? The kernels? They were corn.
Popcorn?
No, it wasn't popcorn. It was,
Vivans?
no, it wasn't Vivans. She had some of that too, but it was the corn. What was it called? Those little corn packs.
Corn on the cob?
I can't remember. Anyway,
Corn ears?
No, she had these snacks that were like corn kernels. Anyways, I would ask for some. So we met each other that way. Now she's on Dallas, Real Housewives. So that's why I took the JetBlue flight. I get on the JetBlue flight. The first thing I ask, can I have a Diet Coke? I'm on a diet right now. Can I have a Diet Coke? They say we only serve Pepsi products. Sarah, I freaked out.
Of course.
I freaked out. Seriously, I'm getting worked up just thinking about it now. Why are you serving Pepsi products?
Yeah.
Why are you serving that? I got so mad because I don't understand the change. Who requested that change? It wasn't like people were saying, I don't like Coke, I want Pepsi. Nobody said that.
No one does.
Maybe their freaking imaginary friend said that. I don't know who said that. It wasn't me, that's for sure. So I said, well, I'm going to send an email to the corporate
Yes.
to say, I'm not pleased with this change.
Yeah.
And so they didn't like my attitude. So they tried to calm me down. They said, well, can we get you a ginger ale?
Uh-huh. Not the
I
same.
said, what do I have, strep fucking throat? You want me to drink a ginger ale? What do I look like to you? I'm not at a blood drive. I don't want a freaking ginger ale. I
You're
want
right.
a Coke or a Diet Coke. And they said, ma'am, you need to calm down. I knew that I needed to calm down, but I was having a hard time doing it. So then I turn, and the guy next to me, I'm trying to breathe. The guy next to me is watching the movie Friends with Benefits. Have you seen that? Mila Kunis.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Justin Timberlake from Maroon 5.
Yes.
What was he in?
He was in.
In Sync.
Yes.
So he's watching this movie, and it got me all fired up again. Because I've experienced what's happened in that movie.
Yes.
I've had guys tell me we're going to be friends with benefits, and I start to fall in love.
And I've been to an NSYNC concert.
Have you seriously, Sarah? When was that?
1998.
Oh my God! You should have invited me.
You were there.
I wasn't. My mind was not there. That's what I'll tell you.
Yes.
Because we saw that in Vegas, didn't we?
Yes,
we
did.
did. And that's exactly right.
Yes.
I don't even remember being there. I literally don't remember being there, Sarah. Anyways, I got fired up because I told him, I said, can you turn that movie off? Because it reminds me, I had an ex, David DiGiorgio.
Yes.
And he always was one to do friends and benefits. And I said I was fine with it, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I would act like I was fine with it, and I thought we would fall in love, and guess what? We did not.
Yeah.
Well, I fell in love with him, but he did not fall in love with me. And I said, this movie is teaching young girls that if they just let a guy use them for sex over and over and over again, eventually they'll find love. And that's not true, Sarah.
It's not.
I said, turn that off. Turn that off. And he said, I'm not turning it off. Mind your own business. He called me the B word. I said, turn that off, turn that off. And right as he does this, woman says, I have your Pepsi. I hit it out of her hand.
Yeah.
It went flying. It landed on a baby's head.
Oh my gosh.
The cup stayed on his head. I said, is anyone filming this?
Oh God.
That's viral right there. Luckily, people were filming it, but they weren't really filming the baby. They were filming me. I'm realizing everyone's filming. That got me even fired up even more. I'm holding this. So she makes me another Pepsi. I'm holding 2 Pepsis in each hand. And I just freaked, Sarah. I said, you land this fight. So was I being rational? No, but, whatever. That's what happened. All I can share now is my truth, which is that's what happened.
Safe to say you might have overreacted.
I did. I overreacted. I will own up to that. But it is hard. It's hard. I feel like I do have to stand up for myself in the fact that I'm like, why are you serving Pepsi products?
Exactly.
It kind of feels mean.
Yes.
Feels kind of like they're trying to fire you up, and then when you're fired up, they say, get off the flight. I say, well, you knew this was going to happen when you gave me that little jar, that little blue jar of crap. That's what I call Pepsi.
I mean, what did they expect? It's a flight to Vegas. People are bound to freak out.
Right. Exactly right. And so I didn't even get to go to Vegas.
Oh, my
Well, I
God.
got to go to Vegas, but I was not allowed to go to the hotel. I had to be in. I had to be contained. So
I understand that. So does traveling now stress you out?
yeah, it does, because I don't know what to drink on the flight, so I get very dehydrated.
Yeah.
And once you get dehydrated, that affects a lot of different things. So I started to get more anxiety. My health was struggling because I'm not going to drink a Pepsi on a flight.
What about a water?
No, I'm not doing it. I need the bubbles. I need the bubbles for the flight. You tell me to drink water on a flight? That's hard to do. I just feel like a flight is kind of made for Coke or Diet Coke.
Yes, of course.
Or alcohol. I don't know. One of those.
Yeah, maybe instead of a Pepsi, you should get like a White Russian or something.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that.
Take the edge off.
Yeah, maybe I'll try that. Yeah, because I do regret my actions. That's what I'll say. I regret my actions.
So are you going to fly with JetBlue again?
I'm not allowed to,
Okay.
first of all, but I would do it. I would do it. I reached out and I apologized.
Yeah.
And I sent a video, actually.
Oh,
'cause
wow.
They weren't responding to my email, so I sent a video. A DVD to the corporate offices saying, I'm sorry that I did this, but the reality is I still have a credit card with them.
Oh,
So what do I do with my points? You know what I mean? I don't know what to really do. So I'm kind of trying right now to get back on their good side. So I'm working free shifts at the airport.
I totally understand that. So if you could say anything to the flight attendant or the people around you that you got upset at, what would you say?
I would say Coke!
Now, is that
Coke!
taking accountability?
Sarah, no. I guess you're right.
Coke, please.
Coke, please. That's right.
There
That's
we
my
go.
girl.
There we go.
That's my niece right there.
And now I feel more comfortable hanging out with you.
Because you're pro Coke products?
No, because you can admit when you're wrong now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Sarah, when you're wrong as much as I am, you got to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
Or nobody would talk to me. That's why I swear, I always admit when I'm wrong, because I'm wrong a lot.
So speaking of that 1998 NSYNC concert, are you ready to apologize for what happened?
What did I do?
So you know how I have that burn mark on the back of my head? I can't grow hair.
Yes, I do.
You put out a
Cigarettes.
on my
Your
soft
head.
spot. Yeah.
And you were just a baby, huh?
Yep.
Nobody should put me in charge of you. But you know what? That's not really their fault. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I really am sorry. But I like it. I think the burn looks good. I think it makes you look like you've been through something. That's always attractive to people.
Yes. It's like a mini fryer.
Exactly right,
Yes.
Sarah. I love that you always find the positives. You always find the positives. Yeah, I'm embarrassed. Everybody's recognizing me from the video. I'm famous. Everybody always says Sarah's the famous person in the family.
It's
but
you.
It's me kind of turning around, actually, because people are recognizing me. They're not asking to take pictures of me like they do with you. They're usually look pretty angry because they think I was mean to all the flight attendants. And I was. I'm sorry. But also, one of the flight attendants looked like a woman that cheated. My ex-boyfriend David DiGiorgio cheated on me with.
Oh my gosh!
So I think I also was kind of my brain was processing that. So I had a lot going on, but I am sorry to anyone I ruined their flight. I'm really sorry to that baby.
Yeah.
Who I put Pepsi all over. I don't want Pepsi all over me, so I can't imagine that baby having Pepsi all over them. It tastes like garbage.
But better a Pepsi than a cigarette.
And that's exactly right. I'm really sorry about that,
It's
Sarah.
okay. It's okay. We
Think
all
about
make
that
mistakes.
A lot. Yeah, we do. I make a lot of mistakes, it seems like. But now I'm going viral, making money off it at least. That's better.
Oh, you're monetizing it?
I'm trying to, at least. I'm trying. I'm starting a podcast, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm kind of here. I want to talk to the studio, see if they can maybe do any.
Yeah, you should host a podcast on airplanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. See, this is. Oh, my glasses.
Oh, no.
Shoot. This is why you're the. Shoot. This is why you're the creative one on our family. I don't have any ideas. I just got the store quality.
Yes, you do. Well, thank you so much, Aunt Carol, for being on today's podcast.
Of course. I love you.
I love you too,
Thank you.
I think. But that's it for this week's episode. Thank you, Aunt Carol. I hope you fly back safely wherever you're going.
Oh, I'm having to take the train.
I heard.
I'm not allowed to fly anymore. I said that kind of overreacting, but I don't know. I just feel like I can't fly anywhere, so I'm sorry.
I know. That's
And look, I'm fundus the next one a flight. I've got a bunch of Trident gum.
and you can fold the little wrapping into like a little spear.
Frog, origami frog. What were you going to say?
Like a little sword, and you can sword fight with your little Trident gum.
I've never done that before. I would do anything to do that, but I can't now because I don't take flights anymore.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to leave for this. I heard I was going to be doing the podcast, and I had to start 2 weeks early. I had to leave.
Oh my God.
Because I had to walk most of it, bus ride. The buses don't like me either, though, and I'll tell you that story at a different time.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to greyhound you for those stories.
All right, I know.
Yeah, you can tell we're related, but thank you so much, Aunt Carol.
Of course. Have a great day, Sarah.
You too.
Can I stay at maybe your house tonight?
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay.
We're getting fumigated. Bye, guys.
Well, that was just a hoot.
She's, God, I love her. Now I realize why I don't see her for 10 years at a time. But
She loves coming on this podcast, though. She's always asking. We try to put her on because truly every week she's like, is there a topic I could talk about?
Yeah.
And so this week finally it worked out.
yes. But thank you guys so much for listening. And sorry about if I seem weird. Kendahl, thank you for taking the reins on a lot of stuff.
I did a really good job.
You led us to
Victory.
the river and we drank. Yes.
Oh, thank you guys so much for listening. You can listen to this podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment, do all the things to support your sweet babies, Sarah and Kendahl.
Yes.
And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.
Thank you.
Happy Wednesday.
It's Thursday.
I know, but they'll be watching this on a Wednesday.
Oh, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Bye.
Bye, guys.